First, what we want to do for our first project is create a COVID travel bubble map. So across the top here, we're going to click on the map selection. And once we're in there, we can then basically find a location which is going to be the center of our travel bubble. So over here in the search bar, I'm going to use Barker College as the location. It brings up where that is, and you can basically click and it zooms in to that point. When you're on that point, click on this little tag that says Add to Map Notes. So if I click that, what that does, it puts an icon at the location, and over here it puts in what's called a layer titled Map Notes. The first thing I want to do is change that name. So I click on those three little dots underneath and click Rename, and I'm going to call this COVID Travel Bubble. Click OK. The second thing I want to do, I actually want to change this symbol. So if I click on the symbol again, I can click on the Edit button. Here, once again, you can change the title of the symbol. So let's call it COVID Travel Bubble again. And on this tab, Change Symbol, you can go and choose from a huge range of different symbols here. But I'm going to stick with something simple. So I'm going to choose General Infrastructure and choose something that looks like a building. Okay, and click on OK. All right, so we've changed the symbol, click Close, and if we go back up into the top left here and click on Details, that takes us back to where our layers are. So this topographic is the actual base map. That's what's underneath all of the other layers and data that we're putting on top, and we've put on this layer above it. All right, now we need to do our analysis. So we need to put in our zones for maybe a 5-kilometer bubble, and we'll put in a 10-kilometer bubble as well. There's two ways we can get to that. We can click on this analysis tab, and if you look at the icon that goes with it, that same icon also appears under this layer. So I'm going to click on that. And the analysis we want to do is proximity analysis. So we're going to use proximity. So we click that for a drop down, and we want to do a buffer. So I'm going to click on Create Buffers. Now you need to choose the layer on which you're going to perform your analysis. So I've called my layer COVID Travel Bubble. So that's the layer I want to perform the analysis on. I want a distance buffer, and here you can put in the actual kilometer distance for your buffer. So I'm going to do a 5-kilometer buffer, and if we leave a space, you can put in another buffer. So I'm also going to do a 10-kilometer buffer. You can see here you can change the measurement. If we scroll down, that's all I need to do at the moment. And if I click on Run Analysis and give the program just a moment, we can see here it's running that analysis, and very shortly it's going to put in buffer layers around that location. So you can see here it's finished buffering and our layer has just appeared. We're obviously zoomed right in, so we're well inside the 5-kilometer buffer zone. So let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see here we're getting our 2 buffer layers. The light green color is our 5-kilometer, and the sort of purpley color is our 10-kilometer buffer layer. What we can also do now, we can go and do some adjustments to the style of that layer. So on our buffer layer, we can click on the Shapes, our Styles tab, and we can use some of these options. So let's click on the first one, and this allows us to change the colors for our buffer layers. What we can do here is change the colors individually, and you can also change the outlines. So I'm going to choose black, click OK, and you can see it's changed that up. Let's just cancel that. If we go back and choose the second one, this now allows us to do a few other things. So first of all, I don't actually want a gradient color change here. I'm going to first of all tick this box called Classify Data, and that's basically going to give me 2 categories for my data. This one should read 0 to 5 kilometers, and this is 5 to 10. Just to correct those numbers, I'm going to click on this Legends box here, and if we click on those Legends box, I can then click on the data over here and just change that 0 to 5. The second thing I'd like to do is actually change those colors. So if I click on this color ramp box, now it gives me the split colors to choose from. I might choose something like this one. And I'm going to change the transparency so that I can see what's underneath those layers. So I'm going to set the transparency to 50%. I'm also going to click on this outline tab and put a dark outline around each buffer zone. I'm going to take the transparency all the way down. I'm actually going to switch this button off, so I'm going to change the thickness of my lines. Okay, and when we click OK, we can see the changes it makes to that pattern. When you've finished making those changes, you need to click the OK tab, and then don't forget down the bottom here, there's also another tab called Done. You need to click that to save your changes. There's a couple of other things we can do with this. Maybe you're not happy with the background map here. It doesn't have the detail you want. So there is an option here to change your background base map, is what it's called. If we click on this tab, we can see here there's a whole bunch of different options for your base map. You may like a dark grey canvas, just for stylistic reasons. It simplifies the details a bit, or perhaps you want something with more detail in, something like a satellite image. So we could click on a satellite base map so that you actually get an idea of where ovals, parks, rivers, those things might be. Okay, so once you've done that, once again you can save. I'm going to go back to the standard topographic map. I quite like that one. Okay, and once you've finished with your map, you then can click the Save tab, Save As, COVID Travel Bubble 2021. I'm just going to put my initials on this because it shares to the organization's library, so they'll know it's mine. And then you can click on this other tab here, a Share tab, to share your map. You get a link that you can share with other people. You can click to share with everyone in the public, or you can just share within your organization. And the last thing we can do, once you're finished with your map, if you click on this drop-down menu, you can actually go to the gallery for your organization, and you'll be able to scroll through all the projects that are there, and you will see your project appear. So if I look down towards the bottom here, COVID Travel Bubble 2021 NJD, that's my project. So then once again, I can open it up, do further editing, or even possibly view it in some other formats, which we'll look at in later videos.